Back here on NFL Countdown at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where third-year quarterback Brett Hundley is getting his first career start. This past week, Aaron Rodgers placed on injured reserve. Hi, everyone. I'm Diana Rossini. Head coach Mike McCarthy told me this is how it went down this past week. His staff put together a list of plays that they liked. Then Brett Hundley gave him a list of plays that he liked, and together they collaborated. The goal here, to make the quarterback comfortable. Comfort breeds confidence, and that's what McCarthy is hoping to get from his quarterback. But, guys, you see, Hundley's got another challenge today, the weather. That's not snow behind me, fortunately. It is raining. That is tarp down here at Lambeau Field. And field conditions, also a major issue for the New Orleans Saints. This past week, head coach Sean Payton showed his team every single day clips of opponents slipping here at Lambeau Field, like this in the Cincy game here at Lambeau. Rookie Joe Mixon slipped. Payton says it's because he wasn't wearing the right cleats. He wasn't wearing those screw-ins. So they had to kick a field goal. The Packers got the ball back, and they went on to win. So all week long, Payton has said, guys, you got to wear the screw-ins. These are the identical cleats that Drew Brees is going to be wearing today. You see, these are the short screw-ins, these are the long, and I'm told it's going to look a bit like a NASCAR pit stop on the bench while the Saints try to figure out what's comfortable for them. One Saints player tells me that these, not comfortable at all. It feels like a dress shoe. So head coach Sean Payton, guys, said, if we win and you guys wear the right cleats here, complimentary pedicures on him. So, Adam, I'll send it back to you, and I was wondering if maybe you treat me to a pedicure this week, Jeff?
No, I'm not a pedicure guy, Diana, unfortunately, but I appreciate that. Welcome to the Domino's pregame headquarters here right now with Chris Mortensen, Louis Riddick, Matt Hasselbeck, and we're going to tackle some of today's stories, starting with Aaron Rodgers. Now, we all know that he had surgery this past week in Los Angeles. The way it was explained to me is doctors told the Packers that Aaron Rodgers can resume throwing in 6 weeks. And that means if he heals correctly and if the Packers stay alive behind Brett Hundley, we could see Aaron Rodgers back later this season. The Packers have not given up hope. There's a chance that happens. A lot would have to happen still, but they believe that with this surgery that he could heal faster, and they do remain hopeful.
And everybody heals differently, and you see how this goes. And, yeah, what they want is for this team to compete and stay in contention. And then Brett Hundley, they have worked him hard. They believe in their process, as you know. And speaking of that wet weather, we can get into it later. Hundley has over 10-inch hands. Drew Brees has over 10-inch hands. And so I think that may not be as big a problem.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important for the Green Bay Packers to adjust that rush percentage. Right now, they're 29th in the league in terms of the number of snaps that they actually on a percentage basis run the football. That has to go up, especially in a bad weather game like this. And additionally, because of the fact that you don't want to give Drew Brees too many chances to start scoring points on your defense that is gimpy in the secondary. So there's a lot of different things that go into trying winning this football game and keeping this team at least 500 in the event that Aaron can come back.
Yeah, and I understand why people would say, oh, Aaron can come back. I mean, he's super competitive. He does a great job with nutrition, probably like cutting-edge bone stimulators and all that stuff. But knowing that injury and knowing, I don't see him coming back this year. So I really don't. And again, I'm not a doctor, but like I don't see why or how he could come back this year with that injury. About the game today and the cleats, Diana's talking about the cleats. You got the 5/8 detached cleats or the 3/4 detached cleats. Why don't some players switch? Just because they don't want to. They don't like how the shoe looks. They don't like how it feels. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone in there and played either as a Packer or as an opponent where you wanted your wide receivers to wear the right shoes, and they were like, not going to do it. I don't care. I would rather slip.
It's one of the most interesting fields in the NFL. Because for a grass field, it's awful hard. And it's hard to get the right cleats because it's hard to get any traction. It's hard to get your cleats to dig in. And you see, when I was with Washington, we went up there and played back in the early 2000s. I mean, we were slipping all over the place. Guys just couldn't figure out how that field was.
And sometimes it's not hard. It's moist because it's a heated field.
Yeah.
So it depends. You know, the sidelines will be frozen and then the inside the pack. That's why you see the Saints. They're not really sure what cleats they're going to wear. So there'll be a guy on the sidelines with a drill gun, and in between a series, a guy might come over and be like, hey, I need the longer cleats. And zip, 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 and zip, 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 and then go. Like, seriously, like a NASCAR race.
I like that. Yeah, I was about to say.
Cars 2, guys.
From one
Disney movie.
From one injured quarterback to another, what do we know about Andrew Luck in his situation?
Well, as we heard this week, they shut him down from practice. And he had a mild setback from all the soreness and work he had done in the previous couple weeks of practice. So he got a cortisone shot. But here was I was told. He proceeded to have a great week of rehab. Now, that's not practice, but they'll slow down the process. They've never had a guarantee on the timeline. But I know this much, they felt good about what he accomplished in rehab going forward. What that means is to when he'll play, we don't know. I think we'll have a little more information on Monday when they meet with the press again.
Yeah, earlier in the offseason, we were talking about Cam Newton and now talking about Andrew Luck. I always said, trainers have always told me the most important part about the rehab process is how do you feel after you get a good workout. It's always about the residual soreness and whether you can then continue to progress on a nice even plane. And with Andrew, is this one of these situations where, to me, I'm telling you, I've said this all along. I think they should just shut him down and look forward to 2018. I don't see why you continue to try and push the envelope here with this. There's really no reason to. This team's not going anywhere.
But if he's healthy, I think there's a feeling that he needs to play football. I don't know if he wants.
What does he need?
Yeah, if he's healthy,
why
wants to
does
play.
he need to, though?
Because when you play that position, there's so much. When you talk to quarterbacks, he's one. It goes into playing that position that you stay away for 2 years, which is basically what happens. It's.
Something went sideways
exactly
on
like
the time of this surgery to now. So, because I've had that surgery, not in my throwing arm, but I know what that surgery timeline is. This timeline doesn't match up.
You're right.
So there's more to that story. But all along, I've really felt like this team needs to be a 500 team halfway through the season. If he can come back with 8 games to go in the season and they're a 500 team and they're in the mix to win that division,